All right, Terrinique. So this is MELTALK 4, and we're here with Terrinique Pennerman, CEO of Curly Belle. And I'm so inspired by your story, just seeing you build something from nothing. Being from, we all know, we know how small our country is, and to build what you've built on the stage that you've built it on, I think is inspiring. One, and then you being a female and being able to do that is even more inspiring too. So I guess kind of wanted to just give you my encouragement and just tell you that you inspire me even by what you're doing right now. So during your presentation, you told people that you had a hair. What did you call the company? What type of company?
A natural hair care product.
Natural hair care product brand from 2009, and you didn't open until 2013.
Yes. So
that in and of itself is crazy to me. But I understand that because as an entrepreneur, you have a vision, and you know what it takes for that vision to come to fruition and how long it takes. And I think you clearly understand that you have to speak it into existence. But that span of years, I'm sure there were folks who were probably looking at you like how folks looked at Noah back in the day when Noah was saying he's building an ark for this storm, and people hadn't seen rain in years, right? So how was that period for you? How did you stick to your vision, stick to the thing that you saw that no one else could have seen?
The period definitely it had its challenges. So during the period from 2008, 2009 to 2013 when I actually launched, I was actually working on the products, perfecting them, using them on my hair, using them on my friend's hair, because it was very important for me to have products that did exactly what they said on the label, like products of integrity, right? That really softened our hair, moisturized, made it more manageable, and defined our hair. And I guess the thing for me, I was very passionate about what I was doing. Like I don't know, I had like this, I would call it like a burning desire inside. Like I know when I release this, I know that people are it's going to change people's lives, and they're going to love the products. So that's really what pushed me to like keep going.
But did you have folks that were being negative about your vision? And like when I say folks, I'm actually talking like close friends or family members that may have doubted what you were saying that was about to happen or would happen one day.
Yeah, I had close, family members. They were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? You went to like undergrad, you got a degree in finance, then you did your MBA, and you're like talking about opening up a hair care company. Why are you gonna do that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why don't you just continue like working in corporate America, and taking home, say, a 6-figure salary? Why would you throw that all away to go work on this thing that you're not sure that it's going to take off? So I definitely had a lot of doubters, but they were looking at me like I was crazy, and I was actually looking at them like they were crazy, because I knew, I knew in my heart that it was going to change people's lives.
Yeah, and I think it leans to the fact what you spoke about, where people try to put their limitations on you. Like they can't see themselves doing it, so how could you do it, right? Because
right.
we may come from the same area or come from the same backgrounds or similar backgrounds, and if I can't do it, it's impossible for you to do it.
Right.
I think that's very positive. So Curly Belle, where did the name come from?
Okay, so that's that's a funny story. So during my MBA program, we went to Europe, And I decided after that I was gonna do a trip on my own. So I was wearing my natural hair, and I went to Rome, and people would come up to me like, people would come up to me and say like, Bella, Bella, we love your we love your curls or whatever. So Bella is Italian for, I think it's pretty or beautiful. I can't remember at this moment. So that really stuck, and it really stuck in my mind. So when I went back home, I started like just playing with the variations of like Curly Bella, and it didn't really Curly Bella didn't really ring a bell to me. But then I said like Curly Belle, and like I asked like one of my friends at the time, I'm like, what you think? Do you like Curly Belle better? And they was like, yeah, that sounds good. And then curly is just the pronunciation of the word curly, so it's Kurlee instead of spelling it as curly. So I just put it together as Curly.
Just being creative.
Curly Belle.
I got you. Okay, so you started the company from the ground up, and you grew to a point where you were able to get into the biggest retailer in the world, right? Now, I'm sure that must have been a great feat for you. I know if it was me and I was able to get my products in Walmart, y'all wouldn't have been able to talk to me anymore. I was going to go to everyone who doubted me at first, and I was like, see, I told you so. But you said something during your presentation, you were like, you have to keep reinventing yourself, right?
Yeah.
You can't settle for all the successes that you experience. So how did you, or how do you continue to hit that reset button and continue to reinvent yourself and expand your brand?
To be completely honest, like I kind of, I follow, not follow, but I research trends, and I see what's going on in the market, and I see that people do things differently. Like things we were doing in 2008 to be a success, you can't do that now in 2019. So when I look at my business, I never look at it as I've arrived. I kind of stay to the point where I'm humble and just continue to reset like my thought process, try to talk to different people in different industries to kind of understand things that they're doing, so I can reinvent myself, because you can't do what you've always done today to get. You can't do what you've always done today to get the more or better results, right, if that makes sense.
Right, gotcha.
So it's just like recreating yourself and not like saying, "Oh, I've made it,"
Got you. So with that said, then how do you define success? How does the success look to you?
So this is okay. So I just had a little girl. She's gonna be a year next month, and she was crying and making noise somewhere in the back. So before then, I defined success as like, I got to get my numbers up. I got to, just basically like financial, like right. This is what I got to do.
It's a number in mind. Yeah.
But now, like when you have a family, it really changes your perspective. For me, like success is looking from her eyes is, my mom had a passion to do something and she did it, and is prospering and is able to take care of me and our family. So success is basically like me creating something from scratch and being able to take care of my family. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but just being able to, like, I think it was Kane that was saying it, just being able to, pay your rent, pay and pay your bills.
Yeah. And do you think that as an entrepreneur and someone seeking to be successful in what you do, you have to be a little crazy, just a little bit?
Ooh. Yeah, just a little. I think you definitely have to, like, be like laser focused and don't look at what everybody else is doing and just be focused on your goal. And you have to be just a little bit like out there.
So tell me where you see Curly Belle going in the next 5 to 10, 20 years in the future.
Oh, so Curly Belle. So for a long time, y'all know I take long to do everything. So 2008 to 2013, I've like, just took me forever to release the products. I've been working on a new line of products for, y'all know, it's been a while. So a couple years, and we're gonna release them next month. But I definitely see Curly Belle in the next 5 years. Expanding in terms of our product offerings, expanding into kids, expanding into men, and also expanding into skincare.
Okay. Then do you have a team now, or is it still basically just you?
I have a team that helps me.
Okay.
It's not just me. I have a girl that helps me with my social media. I shouldn't call her a girl. She's a woman. She hears me. I have a woman that helps with my social media. My partner, he also helps me with the logistics of running the business. But overall, yeah, I am basically doing probably 70% of the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that difficult for you, especially being a new mother?
Oh my God.
Is it challenging? and how would you? What advice would you give to someone else in your position, trying to run a business, and you got a family to worry about, young kids to be concerned with? How do you balance everything?
Well, from my experience, and people think I'm crazy when I say that, like I am my baby's caretaker, like around the clock. So I have not let anybody babysit her. The only time she's been away from me is when I first had her in the hospital and the nurses took her. So I'm a full-time mom and a full-time entrepreneur, but I feel like that is also a blessing that I'm able to like have her, take her to the office with me and just, have her around the clock. But I know some people who can't do that. I say you just have to maximize your time. If you have a 9 to 5 and you have kids, you go to work, you come home, spend some time with your kids, put them to bed, and get work done in between that bedtime and when you got to get up the next day and go. So it's just about staying focused on your goal and writing down what your goals are and doing the work, getting it out.
Awesome. Any questions for Terrinique?
Hey, boo.
Hi.
So I am one of those people who Terrinique told she had a hair care product before she had products. And we met through a mutual friend. He was like, I have this friend, and she has a hair care line, and you have to meet her. And when I met her, I'm like, where are the products? And she showed me some sketches. And I'm like, but where are the products? But we became good friends. Years later, she came out with a line. And I must say, she is my friend, but I support her line. I purchase these products and I know that they work. So I'm not gonna stand here and say something doesn't work when it really does. I've seen her grind go from hair show to hair show, just really killing it. And I just wanna say that I'm super proud of you. And you are an example to those who start and they see so much competition out there and they think, well, the market is so flooded, it's no space for me, but the beauty care industry is a $1-billion industry and there's a lane for someone. But my question is, with there being so much competition, how do you make Curly Belle relevant and at the forefront of, our mind as consumers?
Okay. There is a ton of competition, as you know, with your beautiful curly hair. There are a lot of hair care companies, and I do sometimes take a peek at what they're doing, but I try not to focus on that at all. And I notice that a lot of them, they're doing the same thing. Everyone, if we're gonna go on this talk show, and it's all the hair companies are going on this talk show. I just stay true to who I am because I know that everyone has their season, right? How it's their time to shine, it'll be my time to shine. People that started after me, they're up here. People that started before me are down here. I just stay in my lane and I'm keeping true to the consumer the customer who I made the products for. And like, I think it was Mr. Moss that said, Mr. Moss or Kane that said, like, 9 out of 10 people know when you're being real and when you're being, you know, fake. I'm not into all the fluff. I'm like, these are the products. This is the natural ingredients. This is what it does. People that are looking for real stuff, they're gonna follow me. Eventually, they're gonna just forget about all that glitz and glam. I hope I answered your question. I did. Thank you.
Yes, this is Ralph Clare again. What products are you launching for individuals without any hair? Do I have a chance of? So, no. Real question is, you started this business while you were on a job. You work a 9 to 5, right? That's really hard to do.
Yeah.
How, like, you talked about just when you started, you know, at the beginning of the day you were working, lunch you were working, at the end of the week. Like, what disciplines did you put in place to ensure that you kept things going, right? Because it's easy to get something started, but then when the demands of the job take over, it's like, all right, I got to push that to the side. Do you push it aside and focus on the job? Or do you find that balance and just say, look, I'm going to keep these guardrails in place and I'm never going to kind of waver to allow you to successfully do that? Because a lot of people have great ideas, they started, but they just can't maintain it just because of the fact that they don't know how to balance or they don't have a system in place to kind of keep that going.
Okay. I am very, let me see, obsessive in my everyday life. So if I decide that I'm going to do something, like, it's on my mind. Like, I think about it all the time, and it's gonna be on my mind until I get that completed. So what I've found is when I didn't have a family is I would write out my to-do list, right? Or you would call it your goals. So I'd write out what I want to achieve this week, what I want to achieve this month, and what I want to achieve in a year, and what do I have to do every day to take me, like, so that I can meet my goals. So it was more like a checklist of, like, accountability. So if I don't do something on the list in this time frame, then that bothers me. So that's how I was able to stay focused, because I had a regimented schedule. Now, with a family, it's different, because with a baby, you're on her schedule. You're not on your own schedule anymore. So that has kind of been a struggle for me, because I'm also a creative person, and I have to be in a zone, and I have to be, like, it has to be quiet, and I need my alone time. So just writing it down, get a journal, and I take it everywhere with me. Get a journal, write down what you have to do, and give yourself a timeline. And that's what I found has worked for me. I hope I answered your question.
Hello.
Hi.
So, having built a brand from scratch, what was your process in regards of when you consider yourself having failed? What was your process of taking that failure, restructuring something new, and then getting back into alignment with your purpose?
In terms of failure, I think what I did with the business is I invested all of my money, my personal money, into my company, right? And I think what I should have done, and what I'm doing now, is I have separated my personal funds from the business and allow the business to run itself, as opposed to you pumping your own money, and then you don't know how well the business is doing financially. So that's like a piece of advice I would give to anybody who's starting a business. Once you've started the business, if the business really needs your personal funds, then you put that into it. If you see that the business is making money and it could survive on its own, because Terrinique's budget could be, I could pay somebody $500, right? But can Curly Belle pay somebody $500 to take a picture, right? So just putting that into perspective with your finances so you don't get confused as to how well your company is doing.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Lewis, so I'm here in Atlanta. I own Holy Kiss Cosmetics, which is a lipstick line. We talked about it a little.
Yeah.
And my question is, so I started in 2015, and it's been a slow process, right? And as a small business owner, a lot of times family, friends, those that know you, they want you to give everything away versus truly supporting. How do you balance getting your product out there, getting your brand out there, getting people to support you, but not giving everything away when you put everything into it yourself?
Yeah, man, listen, I went through that. Let me tell you. The thing about it is, if your family and friends really want to support you, they will buy your stuff. Are they gonna go to Sephora and ask Sephora, can they get one of their lipsticks? Right? They're not gonna do that. So then they have to treat you with the same respect. And then you have to demand that respect from them. Because if you give them your stuff for free, you don't really value stuff that you get for free versus like, yeah, what you're paying for. So it's a fine line. Yes, you want to give them the product for them to try it and see if it really works for them, right? You wanna know their feedback. But sweetie, I tell you, I think the best thing to do is, you know how there are influencers on Instagram and Facebook? Give them the product for free. Let them use it and tell people about it and bring you more customers. Your family and friends, they need to be paying you for that product. Because who are they telling about it after they use it? Nobody, right? So that's my advice on that.
Hi, sis.
Hi.
Mayana, I met you earlier, and I just wanted to say that I'm very proud of you. And I'm proud about your product, and I would love for you to tell me where I can get it. You know, we know as black girls, these chemicals has always been very damaging. And I think it's an awesome idea, and I really want to hear your testimonials, everything that I could spread the word as well. So please tell me where I can find your products.
So if you go on my website, it's called curlybelle.com. So that's KURLEEBELLE.com. And I'll have flyers in the back.
Great.
Yeah, when you go on Curly Belle, we have a store locator. We also sell products on the website. But we also have a store locator, and you can put in your zip code, and it'll tell you the nearest store to you.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to try your product.
Thank you.
All right?
Cool. Any more questions for Terrinique? Yep, sure. Take one more.
Hi, cousin. This time I'm from Nassau. Okay, I want you to talk a little bit about how important is journaling when you're reinventing yourself. You talked a little bit about that, and I know Charo alluded to that. So talk a little bit about how you use journaling to help you redefine, rediscover, and reinvent yourself.
Ooh, well, that's a good question. First of all, I think it's very important to document the process. So what I do when I, write out my to-do list is I write the date.
Yes.
Right? And I keep these books.
That's good.
And it's a great keepsake to give to anyone. Like my daughter, I can pass it down to her.
That's great.
So I have seen stuff that I wrote down in 2013 coming to fruition in 2018.
Beautiful.
So it's good for documenting the process.
Thank you.
I have one last question for you. So if there's one thing, I know you said that you invested your own money, and that's something you probably wouldn't do again.
Right.
But I mean, if that's it, you can say. But is there one thing you would change, or if you could change, what would you change during your journey in building your brand?
Ooh, that's a tough question. If there's one thing I could change, I would say not judging myself so harshly against the competition and trying not to be a perfectionist. I think your sister said that she was talking about that earlier. Just trying not to be a perfectionist and being who I am and not caring what other people think about me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Terrinique. I think this has been great. Mel Talk is an interactive segment. We want you guys to be able to ask questions and interact with the speakers and everyone here. So thank you again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.